They say when you're fundraising, be prepared for a lot of no's. Nothing has prepared me better for that than when I tried to get my first credit card. My name is Anthony, and I'm fueled by over 10 years of living trapped in a cycle of predatory payday loan debt. We're Float, and we're building the next generation of credit. Every loan that a bank makes starts with a credit check. These credit checks rely on a narrow set of data, and as a result, over 100 million Americans are left with a misrepresentative score that translates to over $600 billion in lending potential that banks are leaving on the table. The lending process today starts when banks receive an application, they'll check a credit report, and they'll make a lending decision based on that credit report. And as a result, banks are only able to approve 50% of the loans that they receive. Now, given the size of this market, it's no surprise that others have tried before. Alternative scoring companies offer a black box decision engine that bypasses the banks to deliver a lending decision. Banks simply don't trust them and need to be involved in the lending decision. Instead, at Float, we enrich an applicant's credit file with the credit bureaus. Rather than denying thin or no credit history borrowers, bank can send those applicants to Float. At Float, we identify on-time payments and send that information to the credit bureau, allowing the banks to have a more complete applicant profile to make an improved lending decision. And as a result, banks can increase their approval rate to 60% without increasing their delinquency rates. And more loans is more profit for the banks. Our white-labeled app connects to applicants' bank accounts. It detects and verifies, using an AI-native platform, on-time payments with lease information and other bill information to ultimately collect that consumer opt-in to send this information to the credit bureaus, resulting in a 45-point credit score increase on average. Our business model is a win-win for banks, for borrowers, and for Float. We charge a $200 commission on each loan that Float is able to flip the decision of. Take, for example, 100 denied loans. If the Float platform can recover just 20 of those, we increase banks' profit by $40,000. Meanwhile, our margins are high. This costs Float just $250 while we bring in $4,000 of revenue. Our first customers are community development financial institutions. CDFIs are banks that access cheaper capital specifically by serving a majority of thin or no credit history applicants. 2024 regulation changes have required them to increase the number of those applications that they approve. The cheaper capital that this title unlocks for these institutions is hinging on those approvals. Float is their path to increasing those approvals, maintaining that status, and boosting their profit margins. Our decade-strong industry network has enabled us to enter the CDFI market quickly, but it doesn't stop there. Credit unions are incredibly cooperative, and we've already begun the word-of-mouth flywheel to sell into even non-CDFI credit unions. From there, banking app partnerships allow us to spread and scale Float through all lending, ultimately unlocking our vision of becoming the next-gen credit bureau powered by customer permissioned data. This $139 billion market is massive, and it's growing. After just 2 months validating our solution in the market, we're excited to go live at our first paid pilot in November. Demand has been so strong for our product that with a flat monthly subscription fee, we'll be expanding this to a pilot cohort at 3 institutions in early 2025. These contracts represent $210,000 of ARR. Existing credit bureaus are broken. They offer a limited view of the consumer and rely on third-party data sources. Float is the next generation credit bureau, enabling the rails for open banking in credit and lending. Our team met at Stanford Business School, where we just graduated a few months back. I've spent my career building platforms used by millions of credit-invisible Americans. Shuby's family came to the States and had to figure out the US credit system on their own. His Caltech background combines deep AI expertise with industry-relevant network combined over 6 years of working in the credit union industry. Join us as we revolutionize lending to unlock the $600 billion in lending potential for the next generation of borrowers. Thank you.